Hey guys, I see Gurjeet on here. I know we got a couple more coming. Gurjeet, I tried to bring you out. I don't know if you're getting the message or not. There is a little chat area in Webinars on Air where you can communicate with me. If for some reason it's not bringing you out. Oh. Hi Gurjeet,
Yes, hi Justice, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Mr. McDonald, how are you, bud?
Great, yourself?
I'm good, man.
How's your back?
It's better.
Yeah,
You know, it
cool.
got better every day. You know, usually when it is on the verge of going out, if I stay off my feet for a while and get a good night's sleep, which I did that night, I went to bed early. Well, I got back to the room early and I slept as long as I could and stayed in and laid on the floor for the whole morning.
Okay,
Um, and then it got progressively better from there.
cool.
And now I'm home, and it's nice to sleep in my own bed. So
Yeah.
each day's been better than the previous.
Cool.
I did have a chiropractor appointment on Wednesday too when I got back, so that didn't
Awesome.
hurt. Probably didn't help that I missed my chiropractor appointment the Wednesday before I went out.
All right, yeah. Get all that settling in there.
How'd you enjoy the event?
It was awesome. Yeah, it's still hard to take in that what I just went through. I've been like just so like just into everything right now, and the event was I don't know. I didn't know what to expect going in, but it was probably not what I did expect. Like there was no fluff at all. I wasn't too sure it was going to be raw stuff, but it was just serious. Have some fun and hardcore training. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's what I love about that event. There really is no fluff. It's
Yeah,
right to the point.
yeah.
What's going on, Chris? How are you, bud?
Hey, how are you, Justice?
Good, good.
Just walked in the door just now. Everything played out right. Got all the green lights and made it home to my computer with my earplugs. So sorry
Cool.
about last time with the truck and all the noise. I watched the replay and I was just like, oh god.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Excellent. Well, I know Jonathan's not going to make it on tonight. I did not hear from Dorico, and then I mean we have some other attendees that have not quite yet been participating, but that's okay. Everybody at their own pace. You know what I mean? When they have an opportunity to consume the info. So you know, I'd like to talk with you guys, see where you're at, and you know, obviously get any questions answered and talk a little bit about, you know, what's back there now and what to expect moving forward and all that good stuff. Do want to say real quickly that you probably all got my email. I apologize on some of the training being late getting up in there. You know, I've been cranking it out as I can. And I'm going to do an extra coaching call with all of you, you know, because if that held you behind, I don't want that to affect, you know, me getting you on the right track with all the information. You know, making sure that we get to talk after you've consumed the info. So, why don't you guys help me understand where you're at in the training and where you're at with what you've been working on. So why don't we start with you, Mike?
Well, I finished Module 3 today. I really found that one really beneficial because it's getting into more in-depth stuff as far as like how to promote your stuff and get it ranked and all that stuff. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting my ad. I'm going to shoot a video ad
Okay.
and get that one going out there. I shot one last night, but I didn't realize that there's no button, and I had told people to click the button at the end of the video, and there is no button.
And you just press the action button. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna redo it tonight and send it out tonight, and go from there.
Cool. There is one more video coming into Module 3. It's like 3/4 of the way there. My computer ran out of space today, so I have to find a good place to edit it and put the end on. But it's how to optimize, how to put a blog post in, and how to optimize it.
Okay.
Okay, like what you should be doing, you know, from beginning to end. Which you're in Tanya's course right now, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Does she discuss that at all? SEO optimization on an individual blog post?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what
That's
that
all.
last video is going to cover. So you went through the videos where I talked about how to do it in video on YouTube?
Yeah, with the YouTube, and then you had like your big description and the keywords in there and where to put the URL and all that stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I'm going to create a video and do a video Facebook ad, but I'm also going to place that video on YouTube and also into a blog post.
Cool. You know, you say click the button in your video. There's actually, I cut a short video out of place. I don't think I put it back there yet, but it is published and ready. And it's how to put clickable annotations on your videos.
That was what I was going to ask you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that one. I did have a question.
Okay.
The part where you talk about the subscription button in the YouTube video.
Yep.
I found it, but when I clicked on subscription, is it just supposed to be like just a bubble? And if I were to play the video, would it say subscribe?
You know, that's a good question. I see some people that have done really really nice ones. Do you know what I mean? They're like little YouTube ones. I've seen some people that do them with their picture. I've always done them where I put something with video editing software. Like I've put a button over a wake-up call or something that says subscribe here, and then I do a note around it, okay, that's links to this subscription, that links to my YouTube, the subscribe annotation that goes to my YouTube, you know, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But there's better ways to do it. It may be something worth YouTubing because it's not something I've done on all my videos, and it is something that you should do. I mean, anytime you can build that audience, by all means.
Yeah.
So, Gurjeet, help me understand where you're at when it comes to the training and what you've been working on.
When it comes to the training, the only thing that I have to say that I did was that I did my posts more frequently on my fan page.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm really behind watching the videos that you've put up. I just managed to complete the social influence, the influence webinar today, and otherwise, I'm really behind, and I'm hoping to catch up. That's all I can say. And I did have a couple of questions which I had prepared, and those were one of them was if you could help us to let us know what the important points are when you want to put an ad on Facebook. Like what are the features of an effective ad that gets you results for people to follow you or to have an interest in what you do. And the second is you did talk about how you had cracked the code on, like, if somebody showed an interest in something, and then wherever they went, your ad would show up.
Yes.
Like you were there. So a bit more light on that.
Yeah, well, that is going to be in Module 4, Gurjeet. So it's not something. It's not the retargeting is not something I'll be able to explain. It's something that you're going to have to watch over my shoulder and do.
Yeah, I'm happy for that. That's fine.
Yeah. So, one thing I do in Module 3 is I mention a few different plugins that we put on our blog. Is everybody familiar with what a plugin is?
I've heard of it, but not more than that.
Okay, it's an add-on to your blog. Okay, it can create extra function or a feature. It's basically a tool that serves a specific function that you upload to your blog. And one that I mentioned is called Code Insert, and it makes it very easy for us to put any code on the header or footer of our blog. Rather than having to go into and customize the blog, we can simply paste a code into this plugin, and it places it on whatever pages we want. And so when you go through Module 3, and I talk about plugins and widgets, and I give you kind of the language of blogging, I mention a plugin called Code Insert, and you're going to want that. Now, you have someone working on your blog currently, right, Gurjeet?
I did have somebody, but now I'm the one who manages it. Because the person who was working on my blog, she's now stopped. She stopped, I think, a month ago. And now it's me putting up posts and managing the blog.
Okay, is it still the website that I saw? Because there was someone that was designing a website for you, correct?
No, are we talking about the fan page or the website?
The website.
Oh, the website hasn't been done. They're still working on it.
Okay. Okay. That's when I talk about the blog. That's when I'm talking about putting a plugin on the blog. I'm talking about on your website.
Got it.
Chris.
Hello.
Give me an update, my friend.
I'm great. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm like Gurjeet. I'm a little bit behind on some of the modules and stuff, but I've gotten through the first module on the influence blueprint, and that's a lot of great content on there. So I got my website and I got my fan page and stuff. I'm just trying to re-alter them. I did have a question. Would you recommend going to Odesk or Fiverr for getting someone to work on my blog? Because I try to get there in the back office there, and I try to do some of it myself, but I found it was taking me a little bit too much time. So I'm just wondering if you had any suggestions on who I would maybe look to for help me get my blog set up and designed properly.
Your better move is probably Odesk.
Odesk. Okay.
Now you've got to find somebody. You're going to want to check their credentials, their rating.
Yeah.
Fiverr is just too much of a crapshoot for web design. If you need someone to pop you up a quick website, and throw a quick theme up there, or get WordPress installed, so be it. And there's probably very good people on Fiverr that can do some good work for you. If you do look on Fiverr, look at the upsells. Okay. Some people may have more elaborate upsells that are more hands-on with you, and you can look at some of the work they've done, and then it might be worth a shot. But you want to communicate with them first. You want to reach out, you want to have a conversation with them, give them an idea of what you're looking for, understand their upsells. treat it almost like you're hiring a virtual assistant on Odesk. You know what I mean? Don't just go buy the gig and see what happens.
Okay, and the other question is because I am starting out doing some coaching and also like, marketing consultant. Should I start out a little bit smaller now that I'm introducing myself into the marketplace rather than trying to take on too much? Do you think that would simplify my process?
You'd have to be a little more specific by what you see as starting smaller versus going bigger.
Well, like for example, like for yourself, you've invested a lot of time and money into your education, so you can train and teach on a vast more variety of things. And myself, maybe my education isn't at your level, so because you have a little bit more authority out there in the marketplace, and myself just getting started out and wanted to follow like the route of MLSP and helping the online strugglers. I don't want to start out like too big, and I'm just wondering which direction do you think I might go on that?
I think that you're overthinking it a little bit. I think the reality is what you need to do is you need to bring what you know to the marketplace.
Okay.
And that will dictate, what level of client base you get, how many people are paying attention to you, what your value is, all that different stuff. What you get paid and the size of the audience and how responsive that audience is all going to be dictated by the value you bring to the marketplace. Not by how you plan on bringing value to the marketplace, right? So like when you think it to a point where you're trying to come up with the perfect message, you get in a place where you're not making progress out there. The reality is you need to get content out there. You need to connect with people on social media. Right? I mean, the process is simple, guys, in the sense that it's all about this 3-step recruiting formula, right? You put infrastructure in place, right? You get out there and you build your audience, and you position yourself in a way and bring value out there and do it in a way that's postured and professional or whatever suits. Doesn't have to. Professional's not a good word. That is true to you, okay? And create influence with that audience. And that influence is going to be created by the way you represent yourself, and that you stand for something, that you're not letting the marketplace or the people around you dictate the direction you're going in, that you're going for it, right? And B, by the amount of value that you bring. When you are serving the marketplace, when you're serving people, they're going to pay attention to you. They're going to follow you. They're going to want to know what you're up to. At the beginning, it's a grind, guys. Okay? There is no answer that makes it less of a grind, right? There's no, hey, if you just tackle this topic, or if you just make your header this way, or if you just do this kind of ad on Facebook, there's nothing that's going to shortcut the fact that we need to get out there and we need to serve our marketplace, right? And at the beginning, sometimes, I remember doing webinars with 0 people on them, guys. Right? I did webinars where I was talking and nobody was on the webinar. And then one person would come on, I'd just be about to get discouraged and I'd kind of stop talking, and then one person would come on and I'd have to kind of pick up real fast where I left off. And you do that, But, now, thanks to my production in MLSP and my production in different areas and the audience we have, Adam and I did a 6-figure product launch through MLSP, right? And there was one point in time when I was doing webinars with nobody on them. But what I want you to understand is I did them anyway, okay? I did them because that's the only place to start. So be very leery of searching for an answer that's going to push you out there into the marketplace, and just know that if it's kind of like a Field of Dreams things, right? If you build it, they will come. Like if you get out there and you do what you do and you do it passionately and you do it consistently, they'll show up at your doorstep.
That makes sense. My wife will laugh. She keeps on saying, "Stop overthinking stuff. You're thinking too much. Stop reading and doing this. Start doing it." And I'm just like,
you gotta dive in, dude. You gotta dive in. This module is on content. And I say it a bunch of times throughout the module. I'm just like, listen, just make it. Just make the video. Just make the blog post. It doesn't even matter, even early on, before I talk about optimization. okay, I'm encouraging people to get out there and create the content. Because my first content wasn't optimized the right way. My first content didn't have the right call to action. My first content, I didn't know what I know now. But I knew I had to make content, and nothing was going to stop that.
That's excellent.
So, other questions at the moment, guys? I know, Gurjeet, you said you were posting on your fan page a little more regularly. You took that over. Have you seen some engagement?
Yes, I have. I've seen some organic likes, and I've noticed one thing, Justice. The reach, I don't know what that means. The number of people that are reached, that seems to have increased because of the more frequent posts. Could you explain, like, what does it mean when it says number of people reached, like
Absolutely.
20 or 40, or what does that mean?
Absolutely. So understand, and this is going to be a term that you see in advertising. A term in advertising is impressions. Okay, when that post shows up in front of someone, it's an impression. Same thing on the web, right? If a banner shows up in front of someone, it's an impression. The difference between clicks and impressions. Impressions is when it is seen by them, okay? And a click is when someone has taken an action with that post, that banner ad, whatever. So reach is kind of like impressions, meaning that that's how many people have seen it, okay? That's how many people that post has reached. So essentially, it's very literal, right? That's how many people have seen that post. So what you have to understand is that not everybody sees your posts. In fact, a very small percentage of people see them. Facebook has something called EdgeRank, and it's an algorithm, and it is meant to provide the best user experience. So in other words, if you're on Facebook and you have 100 friends, you don't see everything that those 100 friends post. What Facebook does is it has this algorithm, and let's say you happen to like a friend of yours' post. You like a few different posts that they put up. Facebook is more likely to put their posts in front of you because you've engaged with them. You like them, okay? Now, on the flip side, if you have a friend whose post doesn't show up that often, but they put something up that gets an excessive amount of engagement, more than their other posts, now that post may show up in front of you because it's deemed as one of their more popular posts, right? It has exceeded what their posts usually get. So now Facebook's algorithm is going to shift around and say more people should see this because it's getting positive engagement. So what you'll find is that your posts that get the most engagement are going to get the most reach, right? Because they're deemed popular, because it benefits you in the eyes of Facebook's algorithm. Their algorithm is not that simple. There are Facebook experts out there who have, dive into it in really go deep into it. I just use feedback as my indicator. If people are liking, commenting, and sharing a post, if they're engaging with it, I know it's something they like, and I want to do more of that. I want to try and put my finger on the pulse of what it was that my audience, right? Why is it they're responding to this? What can I give them that they'll respond to? I could venture to say pretty safely that EdgeRank will also be affected by consistency, right? And so if you've been posting more and you're seeing more reach, likely the things that are playing a role are, one, more engagement, and two, just consistency on your behalf.
Yeah, because I notice sometimes the people who have put a like, or there are people in some strange city that I don't even know about, and yet they've seen my post and they've liked it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the interesting thing. I mean, Facebook or social media in general, we have to understand, outside of the advertising part, okay, it's not really, it's not buy now kind of marketing, right? It's really about building an audience. And, you don't know when you're going to get the referral. You don't know when you're going to get the customer. You don't know when that person's going to raise their hand and say, I'm ready, right? It's about building that audience and getting everybody engaged and keeping them active with you. Much different than, like, we're going to talk about search traffic. You know, I talk about it in Module 3. I explain it. And then in Module 4, we're going to talk about driving traffic. Search traffic is entirely different. When someone sits down in front of Google, it's not a social environment. Like, and when they sit down in front of Google, they have a problem, right? And they want a solution to it. So when someone searches something on Google, it's completely different than getting in front of someone on Facebook. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Awesome. All right, Chris, the truck. No, I'm just kidding with you.
How was Live the Dream there, Justice? I saw a bunch of pictures on Facebook. Looked like you guys had a great time.
Yeah, it's an amazing event.
That's
An
awesome.
amazing event. So, questions, guys, in reference to the modules, in reference to what you're doing, in reference to marketing. You know, shoot, I'm glad to answer anything. We've got some time here, and I want to help you guys out. If you want me to show you anything, I could screen share. So,
Justice,
yes.
just about my question on the features of an effective ad, if you want to talk about that. Like if we were to put a 2 or 3 line ad in Facebook, what should it include? And
Oh, I got to mute you out, Chris, so I can hear her.
Sure, sorry.
Your microphone is picking up some of the noise. And we'll just unmute you when you have a question and when we're talking. So, Gurjeet, go on. You were talking about Facebook ad?
yes, just when you do a paid ad, if you wanted to reach, say, you know, your local audience, and you wanted to put up a paid ad, what are the features of the ad that, I mean, what should you include in your ad that will get you the best result?
Well,
to make
you know,
it effective.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, it's interesting because I've run some paid ads that I thought were going to be home runs, and I've run some paid ads that haven't worked out as well as I'd like. At the end of the day, paid advertising is all about testing. So there is no exact answer to that question, but I can, you know, give you some basics. And first of all, it's going to vary based on audience, who you're targeting, right? Some things are going to be more effective with different audiences. As of right now, the only training that has been available to you guys has been to run an ad for likes, okay, on your fan page. Now, have you seen that video, Gurjeet?
Which one, Justin?
The last video I think it's one of the last videos in Module 2 so far, and it's about.
No, I haven't got to that.
Okay, so here's. And I'll speak to this quickly, but I would encourage you to, before you consider running paid ads, to go through what the content that's out there, because it's in the order it's in for a reason. It's meant to develop you guys. And we're going to go into more detail on paid ads in Module 4. But I will tell you that an ad needs a picture that's going to draw attention. What I have seen is that a lot of my natural pictures, non-stock images, pictures of me, pictures that are me on vacation or that kind of stuff, you know, everyday pictures, for me, have seemed to perform as well, if not better, than some stock images. I will say that you're allowed to put up to 20% text in an image on Facebook, and so you can play around with that, but something, you know, so obviously something that's going to grab people's attention. And one of the main things here is that you want to, it's so hard to explain without showing you guys, because, what's the best way for me to explain it? Well, let me just say, I'll say it this way. First of all, you want your messaging to be congruent with where you're sending them. Okay, and there are also a lot of different kinds of ads, Gurjeet. So I'm trying to think of it. So put it this way. First of all, you're going to want a headline that grabs their attention. It can be in the form of a question. Okay, you're going to want to list a series of benefits there. You know, nothing crazy, not loads of text that are relevant to what the need of your target audience is. You're going to want to have a picture that catches their attention, and you're going to want to have a strong call to action. And wherever you send them needs to be congruent with what you've set up front. That's as much as I can say right now. You'll see a lot more over my shoulder stuff in Module 4. And once you guys have an understanding of the different types of ads, the questions can be more specific, right? There is no perfect ad. But that's what I'll tell you. And I will tell you that Facebook ad platform is changing. And they're looking for things like bounce rate, meaning somebody going to your website and coming right back. That to them is a sign that your messaging up front wasn't congruent with what they landed on, right? Because it interested them when they clicked, but then it didn't interest them when they got there. We want to stay away from over-promising, anything unrealistic. We want to stay away from hardcore money messages. Those can be some things that can be the groundwork for running ads. There's just so many different kinds, Gurjeet. There's video ads as well, in which you're probably going to have, you may have less text up there, right, because you're getting your message across in the video. In that case, your picture's a thumbnail. You can have more text. There's so many different variables that go in. So I would not recommend you running a Facebook ad outside of the likes ad, and you can run that ad once you've gone through that training. And then as we get into Module 4, we'll dive into that stuff a little more. So that's a roundabout answer that only gave you a few general bullet points, but it really is counterproductive for me to try and explain the details of all the different ads before I've laid them out for you guys.
I think a better way might be. Are you getting an echo?
What's that?
Are you getting an echo when I speak?
I'm not. No.
Okay. Well, anyway, we prepared an ad and gave it to you for critiquing. That might be better.
Yeah, but I wouldn't take the time to critique an ad until you'd been through the training to get to the ads part. Do you know what I mean? Because
I agree with you. After we complete the fourth module.
Yeah, once we've gone through there, if you wanted to show me what you're doing, I'd be happy to give you feedback. Absolutely. We could even spend a coaching call reviewing it if you want. Questions?
I have one on backlinks.
Okay.
If you have a link. I have an echo.
You have an echo too, huh? It might be coming from me. What would cause the echo to just start? Are you guys all hearing an echo?
I don't hear one from you.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo too.
Man, that's me then. I don't know where my earplugs are at. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know. We can give this a try. Can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you fine.
Is there still an echo?
Nope.
See, it's weird though. I'm not hearing you through here, so I wonder if it's even working. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
yes,
I can hear you.
So these things aren't doing anything until I figure them out. Let's see. Off. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. My other earphones I don't have right now, and I haven't used these before.
Okay.
Don't know how they work. Think we're gonna have to. Is the echo terrible? I don't hear it. Talk, Mike.
All right.
Sounds really distorted on my end.
Really?
Oh, that's much clearer.
Okay, maybe it was because I had the mic cord in.
Okay.
Are we okay?
Yeah, sounds okay.
Okay.
Sounds better.
Yeah.
So your question, Mike, about backlinks?
Yeah. So, if my understanding, or I could be totally wrong, is a backlink. It's a link in a word to from your current post to another post in your blog. Yeah.
That's not the only
Right.
type of link.
Right. You could link it to your YouTube or something like that, and then back again.
No. This is going to be. So this is module. We talked about it in module 3 a little bit. I'm going to go into the how-to in module 4 because that's traffic related. But a backlink is a link from any site pointing back to a different page or site. From one spot on the web pointing back to another spot on the web. So when you post your content on Facebook, that's a backlink from Facebook to your content, right? Because if they click that link, it's pointing back to your content.
Okay.
If there is an hyperlink or a highlighted live link on another website pointing back to your website or your blog post, that is a backlink. Likewise, if you create a link pointing to Wikipedia, that's a backlink for Wikipedia. It's an outgoing link for you, okay? If you create a link in your post pointing to a different post of yours, it's essentially a backlink for the other post. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah.
Kind of? Okay. Yeah, in Module 3, we discussed that backlinks are ultimately what create popularity, one of the things that create popularity for a piece of content. But we have to be very clear that we used to game the system. Okay, we used to create max amounts of backlinks, and it would be very easy to trick Google, essentially, into making our content end up on the first page. Google has gotten a lot smarter, and they've gone out and really penalized people for doing that. So, you know, anything we do has to be at least resemble something natural. Okay, you know, it can't be like you can still go to Fiverr and have somebody build 30,000 links for you in 5 minutes, but it's going to hurt your site, not help it. You can still grab a tool that'll do that, but it'll hurt your site, not help it. One of the tools I will recommend in Module 4 is Rob 4's Rank and Stick. Rob has a website network, and he submits that content over a 90-day period of time, nice and slow, you know, and that's kind of more the way it goes. We have a little more lenience on YouTube. You know, we can be a little more aggressive. I wouldn't go overboard, but especially with your website, you don't want any red flags or anything being penalized. I mean, the reality is if your website is new and small and doesn't have a lot of traffic, a lot of content, for thousands of links to come into that website out of nowhere, appears unnatural. Whereas something like YouTube, I mean, heck, there's millions of links hitting YouTube every day, so it's a little more of a drop in the bucket.
Cool. Thanks.
Does anybody have any questions on that? I know that's probably new territory. No? Okay.
Rob4 also has another product called Audience Builder Pro. What are your views on that? Have you seen that?
I have.
I'm just wondering, because it's kind of an automated, sending our content out amongst all of his networks he has. Would that hurt any of our stuff, or do you think that would be a good feature to add?
No, it's probably the safest option, and the reason is because what you do is you put in your social feeds, and then so you put in what we call your RSS feeds. Okay, your blog has an RSS feed. Some of your social sites have RSS feeds, and all it is the most recent content you've published. Okay, yeah. And so what we do is we put in our social RSS feeds. So Rob4's Audience Builder Pro, and when you post when you post a blog post, it doesn't go to Rob4's Audience Builder Pro. No. It's when you put the blog post onto Facebook, that the Facebook link, goes to Rob4. So he's basically driving links then to a second level. He's driving links to the social link, not directly to your website. So it is probably one of the safest things out there. It is it's a very slow go. Like, in other words, you've got to commit to something like that for probably 120 days and beyond, before you start to really expect to see some stuff. But everything, Rob, I've had private conversations with Rob, and we've talked about it, and it's highly effective.
I guess if you posted your blog post on your, say, Facebook fan page, where you were putting a link to your post from there, that would also count as a backlink towards your website, would it not?
It would. And then what Rob's doing is he's pulling that Facebook post, because when you put a post on Facebook, it has an individual URL.
Yes.
Okay? As everybody, when you click a picture, like how it comes up and it's got like its own space there, right?
Yeah.
Up top, that has its own individual URL.
Yes.
So as these posts are hitting your social media, they're then being distributed by Rob, and he's having links pointing back to those posts. So it's like the second tier of authority, but the links are not going directly to your website, so there's really nothing dangerous going on in Google's eyes, or from a standpoint of Google's rules.
Interesting. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I may do one individually there for my YouTube channel, and maybe even for my blog, which is a little more aggressive. If you're creating content a lot, that's one thing, because your RSS feed is always changing, right? But if you don't create content that often, then it may not be so hot, because his Audience Builder Pro is just going to keep pulling the same posts and building too many links.
I see.
Questions?
Google AdWords, if you don't mind if I can ask one question.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, Christopher, do you want to go?
No, go ahead. You already got the topic there. I'll just beat myself out here.
Okay. I know you said we could go YouTube it, and I did go YouTube it to see all about it, but do you have to go through the whole billing process first to create your Google AdWords?
Creating the account. You're not talking about advertising. You're talking about so that you can use the keyword planner.
Yeah.
I think they may have changed it recently where you might. Have you tried? Did you try and set it up?
Yeah, because the first part where you set up your campaign and stuff, you can select keywords, but mine always looks so different than everybody else's. And one person in the MLSP group had said just go through and do the billing, but then cancel it and you get it or whatever. So I tried to find out and I couldn't.
when you go to the Google Keyword Planner, what does it ask you? Go over there right now. Not Google AdWords, Google Keyword Planner. Do you know how to share your screen in here, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you share your screen?
Okay. So. Can you see that?
Okay, yeah, Keyword Planner.
Okay, so I'm going to click here.
And this is where it brings you, huh?
Yeah. So if I wanted to, I could find out. I can still use it because it tells me like the keywords and stuff.
Yeah, but that's totally different than what I see when I go in there.
I know. I'm like, why do I see something different?
So sign out, and sign back in. We'll see if maybe this is the direction you went in, you know what I mean, somewhere in the process. I think it should be top right up there somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, so
I think if you go to the main Google page, like google.ca, you can go up there and then log out, and then you can re-log in.
yeah, so just go sign out up in the top right of your picture. There you go, sign out. I think we may have lost Michael. Oh, shoot. The reason he signed in is because he's in the Hangout. You kid.
Whoops.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to. We're gonna have to get him back on. I didn't even think of that. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. All right. I'm sure he'll be back on in a moment. Gurdita, are you taking pictures over there?
Yeah, I'm exploring and all these options here and took a picture.
So he'll be out in a moment. Chris, you had a question?
Yeah, hi. Because I'm building two businesses, my network marketing consulting business and my health and I'll keep names out of it, but my health and wellness company. Because I'm building them both separately. One's more I'm focusing offline, just in the community and friends and stuff. Do you think it would be too overwhelming for them to show them how to utilize the internet to get more leads and stuff, or should I just basically start them out with their list of their contacts, friends, and family, and just get them off and running with that? Or
Absolutely.
like,
if you want to build a network marketing company specifically, you need to teach network marketing.
yeah,
Now there are going to be people along the way that want to learn more. Okay.
Yeah.
They will identify themselves and they'll be your leaders. They'll prove themselves. Like you're not going to say no to somebody, but you're not going to. You don't want them to think that that's necessary because it's not necessary. It's just a way to reach more people, right? So again, you should be working your warm market for your network marketing business. People that come into your team should be working their warm market. You should have training about how to build a traditional network marketing business, but you are leveraging the internet to build the audience to grow that business. And,
Yeah, that's right.
and there will be people, just like when you look at some of the top people in your network marketing company. Okay, when people get started out, they have very simple instructions for them. And when someone goes through step 1 and they hit a certain rank, they may get a set of instructions that says, wow, go out and do this. Now do this with your team. Then in step 2, step 3, and there comes a point when there's a different level of mentorship. It's like, okay, come over here. Let me show you something, right? And you have to look at this the same way. You can't show somebody step 5. You don't want your brand new rep, diving into high-level paid advertising, right? You want to learn that stuff, and you'll know when the time is appropriate for someone to learn it. But don't put it out there as if they have to do it or they should. There's plenty of people that aren't going to want to leverage the internet. In fact, you will turn some people off.
Yeah, that's very true. So basically, if they're looking for more information, then I could direct them to my marketing consulting website where I'm branding myself as a marketing professional, and then they can see the value that I bring in there. And then if they see anything with inside there, they can ask me, or they can just follow the links and do their own, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to understand, Chris. The best way for you to understand the process is to be in the process. And the reality is, I'm just going to keep hammering that home. Okay, you're going to do it. You're going to make mistakes. Okay, I started people off the wrong way. I had an incongruent message online. I had things. I'm always making it better. There's things I'm changing right now. Okay, but we can't. Larry Thompson, who was a great network marketer, one of the best. He said something to me that sticks with me. He says, we can't fix conversation. Okay, we can only fix activity. So the reality is you're not going to be able to put those deep level pieces together until you're in a deep level situation, right? And so, right now it's got to be about getting some content out there, about networking on social media, about working your warm market. Okay, and as the pieces unfold, then the answers will become clear, and other questions will arise, right?
That's absolutely true. Just hammer it down, man. I guess I'm a little bit of a stubborn guy, so
I'm going to keep hammering it home because
no, I appreciate it,
Chris. This is where the hyper majority of home business owners and internet marketers, this is where they're at, right? This is the box they live in. It's like, what's the answer? What's the answer? What's the answer? And, we showed, it's so funny because we showed some of our students in the 100-Day Biz Builder mining Adam's old stuff. And, I mean, you saw that, right, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious. Wasn't it terrible?
Yeah, but it was out there, right? Yeah, but...
It was terrible. Okay, but it wasn't standing in between us and getting out in the marketplace. It stunk, and we had videos and messages and bad branding and all these things that were so wrong. They were so terrible. But it was just we figured it out as we went. We continue to figure it out. Okay, like I said, there's things I'm changing right now, but you gotta if you want to blog and have an online presence, get that up, get the content out, and one day you're going to go, man, I should have this for my primary business, or my message should be like this. The pieces will start to come together.
I appreciate your honesty with the 100-day there. Most people wouldn't say that, but it shows that you don't have to be perfect to get going and move forward. So
not at all. I mean, did you see that webinar when we put our old branding stuff out there?
Yeah, I went through I was like in the first 100-day biz builder thing, and I'll be honest, I kind of fell off the wagon a bit, and
yeah.
I've procrastinated, but that's in the past, and I used to feel guilty about it, but from your calls, I just learned that, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just a reference point back then, and you know what not to do now, right? So you know what not works. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
absolutely. So, yeah, Mike, that was very bad advice for me to tell you to log out because you were logged into Google.
Yeah.
The
Whatever.
only way, do you have a different browser? Or are you in Chrome and maybe you can open Firefox or Safari or?
I'm in Chrome, but I'll figure it out. It's all good.
Okay, yeah, no, I let me know because I want to know. I already have an account, so I log in quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know because I want to make sure it's clear in the training, right? Part of this workshop is to make sure that is to base the feedback from you guys and the questions you have to figure out if there's gaps in the training that need to be explained so that when it's not hands-on like this, that people are consuming the information that it makes sense to them.
Yeah.
All right. Marketing questions, guys. If you don't have any, that's cool. I mean, we can call it a night. It is just 3. I don't want to keep picking at you here to come up with questions if you don't have them. But I mean, if you have something that you feel is could help you, but maybe isn't totally relevant, feel free to shoot while you have me.
The other thing I had was on domain authority, like for our own stuff, but I think you kind of referenced it with Rob For's audience builder, how it's going to take the time to get there.
Yeah.
So that was my only question, but you kind of answered it because I've been using his system now for probably about a month now.
Okay.
And I can find my stuff, like I can find it, and some of it's on first page, some of them I can't find at all. But it's just a matter of time, I guess, going through the whole process and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And it's consistency and it's proper optimization and it's time. And the reality is your domain authority, your personal blog is never going to be 100 domain authority.
Right.
Okay, I think probably Rob's and Ray's and those guys, they're probably only in the 40, 45 range. Like, personal blog, unless you turn your personal blog into like the Huffington Post and you've got, all these writers coming on and it's just getting massive traffic and you've got endless content being published, your personal website is not going to hit that kind of domain authority.
Right. Okay. But finding it on like first page and stuff like that in Google right now, if we're around first page, sometimes second page and stuff, it's just going to keep climbing, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Every piece of content will not rank. The algorithms are constantly changing. What you need to focus on. I see at this point for me, I see SEO as secondary. Okay, I serve the audience. I serve my audience. I grow my audience on social media. I grow readership. I grow my email list. Okay, and those people are reading my stuff. So there's a lot of different places in which my content's reaching them, and I make sure that I'm serving them first and foremost. Right? The ranking on Google is secondary to me at this point. It's great. I want it. Right? But hold on, there's somebody at my door. Yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I mean the only option I would have would be to not. I don't have a number. I'm not sure. Oh, you mean in the car? I'm not sure. I'm on a live webinar though. So. No problem. Sorry about that, guys. My neighbor was looking to get in touch with another neighbor because her car lights were on.
Oh.
Live in a friendly community, you know?
Hey, Justice, I plan on having all my stuff kind of set up and ready to go by probably Monday afternoon. If I were to send you an email with just some links to some of my stuff, would you mind even taking a look at it and just maybe sending me a reply on what you like about it or what you don't?
Absolutely. Here's what I'll do. Here's my promise to you. I'll review your stuff. This is your blog you're talking about?
Yeah, it's going to be my blog, my fan page, and a few capture pages, and as well as my health and wellness website that I'm going to have linked to it. I just wondered if you'd look at the process and give me a few pointers, but I'll go through all the modules and stuff and use that as my guiding.
Here's the commitment I'll make to you. I will review your websites, but here's what you have to do. You have to be up to date on the modules, and you have to have 2 blog posts up and 2 videos up.
I just have to unmute myself. My daughter's kind of crying in the background. That's a deal.
Okay, and
that's a great deal.
I want you to understand. It doesn't matter whether the websites are right or not.
Yeah.
Get the content up, and we'll fix it after that. Okay, and that's what, you know, that's the way you have to flip the order of importance there. You know, put a blog post up on a blog that doesn't look the way you want it to. At least you've got a post out there. You're in motion. You understand how easy it is. You understand the process. The rest of the stuff you're going to put together over time.
No, I'm glad that you went that way instead of just saying, "Yeah, I'll look at it."
Yeah. No, I'm not that. I'll never be that easy.
That's great. I knew I liked you for a reason. No, that's fantastic.
Awesome.
I saw all the modules in there, so yeah, I'll go through all that.
As soon as you're done with the first 3, you don't even have to finish 4 yet. I mean, you'll see content coming into that soon, but be done with the first 3 and get 2 videos, 2 posts up, and I will review your stuff.
Done deal, buddy.
Okay? Awesome. Other questions, guys?
No, I'm all good.
Gurjeet?
I'm good too, and I want to really say that the last comment that you made, that was so significant and so important, because that gives us an incentive to do something.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you keep thinking, "Oh, I have to look at the videos. I will," and you never get to it. But if you know you have to get a video up, you sure will.
Yeah, and you know, I hope that all of you look at your business that way. I mean, it doesn't matter. I know, Gurjeet, you're in a different niche. Doesn't matter. You know, see, what you have to understand is that it's interesting. I did a call on this the other day on resistance, right? And there's just so many things I could reference. I mean, Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, when he talks about Parkinson's law, like the longer time we have to accomplish something, the more complicated we make it, the longer we stretch it out. Okay, and there's a reason why we've all been able to cram for tests, right? There's a reason why when your back's against the wall, you become hyper-productive, and that is because the time frame in which you have to execute something is very small. When you don't have a time frame, okay, when there is no immediate pressure to finish something, you will complicate the heck out of it. Okay, I mean, you'll stretch it out, you'll complicate it, there'll be a million people you're waiting on, a million things that are going on. It just never ends. You know, I've had conversations with people where they say, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm working on my website, you know, my goal date is 2.5 months from now." If you said to me, "Justice, you need to get a website up by tomorrow," I'd have it done. I'd find a way, because it can be done. Right, like you know, same thing with getting videos up. Same thing with creating a fan page or posting stuff. This stuff is not hard. It's just new, right? And when we line it all up and we look at the whole big thing, and we have, it's okay with us that it's done a month from now or 2 months from now or 3 months from now. We're just going to stretch it out and make it harder. Okay, if you guys want to get your businesses in motion, The way to get them in motion is to get that stuff up. And it doesn't have to be pretty. Well, here's what's going to happen when you put it up. You're going to learn something. If you go put 5 blog posts up, you're going to want your blog to look fundamentally different than you want it to look right now with no blog posts on it. Right? It's going to open your eyes to different things. And you just won't be able to see it from a place where you're trying to see it. Does that make sense? Where you're like trying to picture it perfectly. You'll never see it from that place. You'll only see it once you're inside, once you're on blog post number 3, once you're moving. That's when the ideas come. Very interestingly, I was on a coaching call. I'm in a high-level mastermind. And I get caught up in this stuff too. We're all human. We all get caught up in the same way, just at different points, right? And I'm putting together a complicated funnel, and it has multiple things for sale that are my own products, this being one of them, right? And it has payment processors involved. It has upsells involved. It has private membership site involved. It has all this stuff involved. And the sales videos are my own videos. And it's like I start going and I start, what's the answer to this? How do you make it all perfect, right? And one of my mentors said to me, and it was really powerful, he said, Justice, said, I want you to picture yourself writing on a whiteboard, right? And he said, and you have so many ideas, the whiteboard's all filled. Until you erase something from that whiteboard, there's no room for anything else. No, new ideas can't flow. Creativity can't flow, right? So the next product, the new big idea, the going bigger, the scaling, the growing your business, the how you handle your team, whatever it is, all that stuff that you want to get your hands on, answer-wise, there's no room for it. You can't see the big picture for the 5th, 6th, 7th step of your business if you can't start erasing stuff off that whiteboard. So, I highly encourage you guys to get through the modules. Highly encourage you to apply what's taught in those modules, because we're going to get to a place where it's like, this is how you build a backlink, this is how you do a Facebook ad. Okay, but you want to be, okay, I know how to do the video already and upload it. I know how to write the blog post. I know how to network on social media. Not in theory, but because you experienced it, right? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you don't have any other questions, we can wrap it up for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
I'm good.
Awesome. So here's the deal, guys. Let's all get another one of our coaching calls set up. I want to stay on pace with that, because I don't want to do back-to-back coaching calls 4 weeks from now. You know what I mean? The objective is to help keep you guys on track, help give you clarity as you're moving forward. You've got to be moving forward, though. Otherwise we just, I have coaching calls all the time. Otherwise we'll just be chatting about theory. So hope this is helpful. And
once again, Justice, before you go, what is I've forgotten now since it's been a while. How do we schedule the coaching call?
just shoot me a message on Facebook or something, a message or an email.
Okay.
And
with a time, and what if that doesn't suit you?
What's that?
Just shoot in a message, and what about the time?
Yeah, well, give me a couple of times that work for you, and we'll try and work things out from there.
Okay.
Give me a few options, and we'll pick something.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Well, guys, I can't wait there are still a few pieces of content to go up in the first few modules, but a lot of it's back there. I cannot wait to start sharing Module 4 with you. Bri, I know, or Mike, I know you're going to love it, because I know that you've got some content out there, and you'll find this stuff helpful, especially, when we get into some of the retargeting and some different options you have in regards to that.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a wonderful night.
Same to you,
Thank you,
Justice.
and
Thank
you.
See
you.
you guys. Thanks.
You too.
Now we can log out.